So what happens when that relentless societal pressure to perform, to achieve, to constantly be more, what happens when that's suddenly loosened?
Yeah, when the grip kind of softens, what actually comes out?
Exactly. And that's really the heart of our deep dive today, isn't it?
It is. We're looking at this connection between three ideas: spaciousness, healing, and maybe most radically, enoughness.
Mm-hmm.
In a world that just demands speed, demands striving, these feel, they feel almost like acts of quiet rebellion.
They really do. And our mission, I suppose, is to unpack how these things, healing, making space, feeling enough, how they actually weave together.
Right. Not just as a way to live, but as our source material shows, it becomes this powerful way to approach something like teaching.
Okay, so where did this author start? Was it a theory they developed, or?
No, not really. They talk about it more like a quiet unfolding. It was guided by what they call three invitations.
Invitations, okay.
Yeah, so there was Nadia Melli's reflection on healing and ambition, how one can change the other. And Hannah Cow's ideas about meaning when things change. And then this Japanese concept, yutori.
Yutori.
Yeah.
Spaciousness, right. But more than just time.
Exactly. It's like an internal freedom. And the author says these ideas weren't, sought out deliberately. They just sort of resonated. A pattern emerged.
And it all seemed to circle back to one core question for the author.
Yeah, a really pivotal one. What if enoughness isn't just something I offer my students? What if it's something I claim for myself, too?
Wow. That's
No.
that's vulnerable. Makes you wonder what came before. What was the context that made that question so powerful?
Well, to get that, you have to picture the 5 years they spent teaching before this shift.
Yeah.
They describe it as intense, a measurement-driven system, a real pressure cooker.
Okay.
Every single moment, they say, was bent toward proving something: my competence, my compliance, my growth. It was like the system believed people only develop under intense pressure.
That's just draining.
Huh.
Rushed, impersonal,
Yeah.
measured, tracked, benchmarked. That's how they
Yeah.
put it. I mean, you can imagine people listening, nodding along, even outside education. But is there ever a case that some pressure is good? Or was this system just inherently damaging?
Well, from this author's experience, the focus is definitely on the damage. The cost of always performing was huge. They talk about masking and not just, socially putting on a brave face. It was deeper, cognitively, spiritually, emotionally.
So learning the lingo, the acronyms.
Right, learning the syntax of the system, the choreography of survival, as they put it. But it took a massive toll on who they really were.
And the examples are just, yeah, they hit hard. Feeling your body tense up when someone walks in unannounced.
Mm-hmm. Crying in the car after smiling through a meeting.
Trying to teach 5 grade levels, run special ed meetings in stairwells,
Covering for aides who weren't there.
and pretending it's all okay, that it's sustainable.
Right. They called it service. The
Yeah.
system called it professionalism, but the author, they called it erosion.
Erosion of self, of spirit, of voice. That's powerful.
It really is. And what's fascinating is how this shift, the healing started. It wasn't this big dramatic moment.
No.
No, they describe it more like the first moment of silence after a storm. A breath, a space, a softness.
Ah,
And they mention something specific: hormone replacement therapy helped them find what had never been broken. It wasn't about fixing damage, but finding wholeness.
so that led to coherence?
With coherence came voice, and with voice, a slow unmasking. That's how they put it.
Wow. So the healing allowed them to see the mask differently.
Exactly. Not as weakness, but armor. Not a lie, but adaptation, not failure.
Evident.
Evidence. Evidence that the system never met me where I was, only where it demanded I stand.
That reframing is huge. It shifts it from what's wrong with me
Yeah,
to what's wrong with the fit.
precisely.
So how does that change things now, day to day, this school year?
It's a completely different approach, no longer under that microscope feeling like they owe constant proof. Instead, the choice is to offer presence, to actually prioritize relationship over rubric and listen more closely to my student silences. It's a total shift in energy.
Okay, so this unmasking, this healing, it starts personal, but it ripples out.
Yeah.
And it even does to their ambition. That Nadia Melli quote is striking. The more I heal, the less ambitious I become.
Mm-hmm.
Which, sounds almost wrong in our world. Why would healing make you less ambitious? What kind of ambition are we talking about?
That's such a key point. The author is really clear. It's not about losing the quiet longing to do good work, to love my students well, to leave the world better.
Okay, that core drive is still there,
Yeah.
maybe even stronger.
Yes. They say that kind of ambition is sharper now, more sacred. What faded was something else.
What then?
The hunger to climb, to prove, to win some imaginary game the system pretends is merit. That hunger just dulled.
Not because they gave up, but because they saw it clearly.
Exactly. Clarity, not disillusionment. That Melly quote felt like release, like realignment, like a compass finally settling.
That makes sense. It's shedding the wrong kind of ambition. The author called their early ambition a curious creature.
Yeah, a hybrid of survival instinct and social scripting. It was all about needing to be taken seriously, to be seen as competent.
Not being dismissed for being different. Too soft, too queer, too neurodivergent.
All of that. And they got good at the systems game, the rubrics, the IEP meetings, the data.
But they didn't feel seen.
Rarely felt seen, they admit. And that kind of ambition, they say, doesn't grow you. It wears you down.
So what replaced it? What's the new desire?
It's simpler, more direct. It's not about stopping care, but stopping the performance that care had to look like overachievement.
No.
Now it's wanting to show up for the students whose names don't make it into the school-wide shout-outs.
To actually sit beside them.
Yes, not just instruct from the front.
Yeah.
And to help them finish, not for the school stats or the data points.
But just because finishing, staying intact in this world is, well, it's huge.
Already a miracle, is how they put it.
So it's not giving up, it's a soft refusal.
That's the phrase. A gentle stepping back from the edge of constant proving. And this line really lands. I am not a machine. I was never meant to be a machine.
Powerful. Okay, so as they embraced this soft refusal, this different ambition, how did that actually show up in their day? Especially, you mentioned before the school day chaos hits, this yutori idea.
Yes, yutori. It becomes really concrete in their morning routine. They describe this long drive getting to campus really early before sunrise while it's totally quiet.
That hush they talked about.
Exactly. That stretch of time where no one expects anything of you yet.
And it's not about looking good, being the first one there for brownie points.
Not at all. It's about arriving in a way that doesn't shatter the day with urgency. They notice the small things, the crows, the squirrels, the night air.
Even the maintenance staff nodding hello. It's about carrying that quiet into the day.
Yes. It's a conscious choice to slow down before the rush starts, and that is yutori.
The kind that just emerges, right? Not something you schedule on your calendar.
Exactly. It emerges when you stop trying to be somewhere else. It's about having literally time to look around, being present.
And they really do look around, walking slowly, noticing feathers, scraps of paper, pausing under these old trees.
Trees that aren't even native, shedding leaves and pollen.
Which they admit is kind of an assault disguised as ambience for their sinuses.
Right. There's that mix again, beauty and irritation. But they linger anyway. For the rhythm, they feel a kinship with the tree's refusal to just conform.
That's fascinating, finding kinship in something slightly annoying but resilient.
And in that space, that not quite before and not quite beginning, they feel most myself.
Not yet teacher, not yet case manager.
Just a presence, a witness, a still point. That unburdened feeling is key.
So it's about attention, not frantic prep. Yutori is in the timing, sure, but also in the letting go.
Yes, letting the day arrive, letting students be people first, letting yourself be enough. And in a world yelling, faster, that feels like
Rebellion. A soft, rooted refusal. A choosing.
I love that. Okay, so how does this personal shift, this yutori, then translate into the classroom, into teaching?
It changes everything. The author says they walk in this year with a different intention. Not because the world got calmer.
Because that hasn't happened.
No, but because something in me has settled. The focus isn't on outcomes, data dashboards anymore. It's deeper.
And that deeper thing is connection. But real connection, not just ticking the rapport box. Exactly. The kind that makes a room feel safe enough to breathe in. The kind where a student might actually risk showing you who they are.
And crucially, they say, that kind of connection, it doesn't grow in pressure, it grows in space. Why is space so vital there?
Well, think about it. Without space, without pauses, it all becomes performance, right? Giving the expected answer, not the real one. Connection needs room to breathe.
So yutori isn't just personal wellness, it's a precondition for real teaching and learning.
That's exactly it, a precondition. Otherwise, interaction stays superficial.
Which means their actual goals for education have shifted dramatically. They're not focused on test scores.
No SBAC scores, no iReady minutes. They say flat out, I'm not here to make them more efficient at surviving a broken system.
Wow. So what are they there for?
I'm here to bear witness to their wholeness in a system that refuses to see it.
That's a radical mission statement for a teacher today.
Yeah.
What does witnessing wholeness actually look like?
It looks like acknowledging these kids, the class of 2026, deserve presence, not pressure, not demands for perfection.
Just presence.
Yeah. A room where performance isn't the price of admission for your humanity, where you can breathe, stall, flinch, laugh, cry, revise.
A room that stays here instead of always rushing them somewhere else, staying with them, with me, in this fractured now.
Which connects right back to that Hannah Cow line, it will be okay, but it will be different. It's about accepting the fractured now.
And walking beside them. Not pushing them towards outcomes, but towards themselves. Helping them finish, but stay intact.
Exactly. It's about resilience, wholeness, not just achievement points.
So this is where enoughness becomes the goal. The ambition itself.
Right. The author wonders, if I can give them even a sliver of yutori, if we can begin our mornings not in panic but in breath, maybe that's enough.
That's not settling. That's redefining success entirely.
It is. It's the ambition that matters now. Spaciousness as invitation, stillness as strategy, presence as pedagogy.
Not for the state, not for the system.
For us, for now.
And it all comes back to that simple, quiet vow. I will not rush them. Not this year.
Simple, but profound, and there's a real sense of urgency behind it, too.
Urgency. How so?
Well, the author recognizes this might be the last year these students get this kind of space, before the pressures really mount, before they become numbers.
Before the support systems like IEPs or resource programs potentially fall away.
Right. The drop-off, the cost of leaving school without that safety net. So this deliberate slowness, this yutori, is maybe a final vital gift.
So it's absolutely not indulgence. It's resistance.
It's resistance. It's saying, you are not a problem to be solved. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are.
And I'm here with you. That message alone, it could change everything for a young person.
Couldn't it? It resonates way beyond school. The focus becomes protecting what's already here, making room for meandering conversations, for silence, for knowing to arrive in its own time.
Trusting the process, the human pace.
Exactly. And you see how that personal healing journey has become a public stance, just through the chosen pace, choosing slowness against the demand for speed.
Is really inspiring. A model, maybe.
And the hope is that the students internalize that they learn deep down that worth is not measured in efficiency.
That growth isn't always a neat upward curve.
And that sometimes just being is enough, not constantly doing.
Being, not doing is enough. So after exploring all this, maybe the question for you, listening, is what does it really mean to claim that enoughness in your own life, in your work, your pursuits?
Even when everything around you is asking for more.
Perhaps, just perhaps, it starts with choosing to stay right, here, in this moment, together, whole, slow, enough.